So before we get going, I just want to say thank you to Nick Smith. I'm sure you guys know who he is. He's an NBA 2K commentator. He gave me a shout out in a recent video of his, and a decent amount of his viewers came over to my channel. So thank you to Nick, and if you're a new viewer, I just want to say welcome. I hope you enjoy your stay. But now the question has been asked again and again, who is the right power forward next to Boogie DeMarcus Cousins? Well, I teased you with Serge Ibaka, but then I decided I wanted to go a more realistic route with this. And based on the three names I gave you guys in the last video, it seems like you were on the Mike Scott train, which I would understand. However, before I show my decision, let's talk about a couple other names that you guys suggested. First, Nikola Mirotic with Chicago. It would make sense that he would work with us because he really has the playstyle we need, but he's been in Chicago's plans for a long time. There's no way that they would trade him, especially with the rookie season that he's had. Next is Ryan Anderson, and you guys mentioned how he played great next to Dwight Howard as well as Anthony Davis right now, and you're correct. However, Anthony Davis, and especially Dwight Howard late 2000, so good at defense that it made up for the fact that Ryan Anderson is really weak on that side of the ball. And I love DeMarcus Cousins, but we gotta be honest, he's not good enough at defense to make up for a bad defensive power forward like Ryan Anderson. The next name, Jared Sullinger, and I'm a Celtics fan, so I follow the team. They're not looking to trade Sullinger. They believe that he can grow into a real piece for them. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but it's what they believe, and they wouldn't trade him, especially not for anything we have. Michael Beasley was interesting. I honestly wasn't even thinking about him, but once someone suggested him, I saw his attributes, and as a shooter, he's definitely good enough, but I was really disappointed. His defense and rebounding, it's nowhere to be found. So I'm sure you figured it out by now, it's Amari Stoudemire. I'm kidding, it's Mike Scott. Just imagine that, oof. Unlike Derek Williams, Mike Scott can grab some rebounds for us, and he's actually a shooter from everywhere on the floor. Plus, just look at that contract. I mean, that thing's beautiful. 2 years at $3 million, and he's got a team option for a third year, which I'm probably going to pick up. However, not the only moves made. Carl Landry is now a member of the Houston Rockets, along with his horrid contract, and we got ourselves a nice expiring with Papa Nicolau. Of course, Jason Thompson was in the Mike Scott deal, but now, with Rudy Gay's salary dropping by $7 million, Derek Williams expiring, Papa Nicolau's expiring, I know it says he has a 2-year there, it's a team option, we're not going to pick him up, as well as Andre Miller's expiring, we got enough money to make some real noise in free agency. But of course, there is still basketball to be played, and amongst all this trade talk, I wouldn't blame you if you forgot what the game plan was. It's still the same. Give the ball to DeMarcus Cousins. And I want to make sure you remember this. I want this embedded in your brain. Give the ball to DeMarcus Cousins. Get in there. But what was really shocking in this game, there was an Anthony Bennett sighting. I don't blame Reggie Evans for not defending him. My goodness, Anthony Bennett. Talk about potentially the worst draft busts of all time. I'm talking Jamarcus Russell status. But of course, Mike Scott isn't the only new guy. If you were paying attention, Kyle Singler found himself wide open there. And unlike Omri Caspi, he's going to knock that thing down the majority of the time. And Andre Miller may be old as hell, but he can still get the ball up court. And Nick Stauskas, oh god, the white guys are running rampant. It's jump shots and sprained ankles everywhere. But of course, for the next 3 seasons, Isaiah Austin is going to be here as well, so we might as well get him going now. Run a pick and roll with him, see what he can do. And hey, it's better than nothing. At least you can get fouled and head to the line. And the scariest thing in 2K is when you're shooting free throws with a guy you've never shot him with before. And his free throw is a little funky, but it's at least good enough to at least go in. But shout out to the one guy who told me the floppy mid-range plays work. Check this out. Rudy Gay wide open from 15 feet? In 2K? I thought it was impossible. The way playbooks are going now, it's either an open three-pointer or it's a post-up down low. But speaking of three-pointers, it's exactly what we're looking to find now, and oh no, you brought the help defense. I don't think Ben McLemore has missed one three-pointer this entire series. But now we got to deal with Ricky Rubio, or Rajon Rondo 2.0, which was a compliment about 3 years ago, but I think it's become an insult at this point. I mean, if you're a guard who can't shoot threes, what are you? Although he can throw a pass, and that was a cutter play that actually got the guy open. I'm going to have to find that one myself. You saw who got the rebound there, right? Mike Scott, and then the trailer? Ooh, Mike Scott, that three-pointer is deadly. Now Minnesota attempted to get back in this one, but when the referees are going to allow us to do that, and then when you've got a 150-pound European on DeMarcus Cousins, it's like a shark in water. There's no way you're not going to get killed. You don't bring a double team, I mean, come on. Rubio can't even defend JJ Barea, let alone DeMarcus Cousins. But now a 7-point game with about 3 minutes left. There's a chance Minnesota could still get into it. However, when you call a pick and roll with DeMarcus Cousins, what are they going to do? They have to bring help defense, and when they do, oh, Mike Scott. Just a laser right to the basket. That's the dagger. I mean, what are you going to do? What are you going to do on that pick and roll? But now, the first game with the new guys was a success. Mike Scott hit some big three-pointers. Austin and Singler look good. And now that the moves have been made, there's a chance that I'm not going to play too many more games this season. I might just simulate the rest of the first year, and then we can really start doing something.